Welcome everyone to Goal Chat Live. I'm Debra Eckerling, author of your Goal Guide and creator of the Deb Method for Goal Setting Simplified. And every week I bring together three friends to jump into the special topic. And then on Thursday, it magically becomes an episode of the Deb Show on the Marketing Podcast Network. So whether you're watching us live or the replay or listening to us, we are glad you're here. And in today's case, choosing your marketing goals. I've got a wonderful panel today, like friends. It's like, hey, friends, let's hang out. No time to hang out? Okay, come be on my show. So I'm thrilled to have with me Jennifer Ballard, who is now working for Motivating the Masses. We've been friends forever and ever because we work together in social media land. So really excited to have you here, Jen. Also, Winnona, am I going to mispronounce your name? Because you're not even letting me cheat.
Right.
Yeah.
Ready? It's Gaviglio.
Winnona Gaviglio. Thank you for being here. And we just met a couple months. But networking people find other networking people, and we are definitely of that realm. So really happy to have you here. And also my friend April Woodcock is here. So we've got mostly Californians, and April is representing the East Coast today.
East Coast.
Yes. Really, and you are all like marketing. You all love marketing, right? Which is what we're talking about. And it's really important because if no one knows you have a business, you have no business. So really thrilled to dive into the topic. I would love to, before we jump in, to have you each introduce yourselves. So Jen, please share who you are, why you're here, and why you love this topic.
Okay, hi, I am Jennifer Ballard. I'm currently working for Motivating the Masses, which is the company behind motivational, transformational speaker Lisa Nichols. Look her up, she's awesome. I just started at this company about 2 months ago. What I'm doing here is I am the brand partnerships strategist. So everything related to partnerships, affiliate marketing, interviews that Lisa's asked to do. I'm the go-to person for all that stuff. So it's really important to take advantage of. She's been in the field for 25 years. So for this company, marketing is super important, in this role particularly, because there's a lot of synergy that can be had between friends of Lisa, other speakers, people who've been in her audience for years, all the past 25 years since she's been speaking. We really want to take advantage of the relationships and develop and maintain the relationships that she has worked so hard to build over her career. And that's what I'm here to do. So, yeah.
So much fun. And I always say you can't reach your goals on your own. You need your people.
Right.
Let's be each other's people, which is a big reason why I do this show, because it's also an opportunity for you all to connect with each other and everybody to learn. So really excited to have you here, and congrats on the new gig. You obviously love it. Yay.
Yeah, it's great.
Winnona, welcome.
Hi. My name is Winnona with UK USA Marketing, and I have been in some form of marketing for the past 30 years. It started out when I was a middle school teacher in LA County. And dude, you are marketing every hour because they switch, and it's a new group of kids, and why do they want to learn what it is you're trying to teach them? So I took all of that kind of like psychology background, and I've applied it to how to help business owners say the right thing the right way so that US consumers want their services, want their products, because you really have to get into who is your ideal client, where do they eat, where do they shop, what movies do they watch, and then you almost like you have the answers to the test before you go in and you speak to your audience. So the reason that I'm here is because, Debra, you asked me so politely, could you come and share your knowledge? And I said, yes, because I love to help people. So thanks for having me.
Now, before we jump on to April, I know the story, but what is UK to USA? Because I love you found this little niche.
So the pandemic happened. And
we noticed.
Yes, it did. And I was with a digital marketing company in outside sales, and prior to the shutdown happening, I was going to in-person networking events. Well, everything was a networking event for me because I just turned it into one. And all of my leads dried up. So I went to an online networking group. It was at 7 o'clock in the morning, gasp. But, you know, for people who are on the East Coast or anywhere else, it was much later. And I met a gal from the UK, and we just hit it off like sisters from another mister. I don't know if we were really missing human contact at that time, but we ended up chatting 4 or 5 times a month. She was a business coach. She loves to help people as well. So she was trying to figure out how I could have my own business. And we talked about like what I was good at doing, what I love doing. And she had me go over some free Saturday morning workshop that nobody was signing up for her in her area. And so I went through and told her all the things to change. And then she said, oh, by the way, there's this event coming up in Northern California. Could you go be my bird dog? Could you go be my eyes and ears and network for me? I said, you mean like a spy? That is so cool. So half of my people are in the UK and half of my people are in the US.
And I love it. I always tell people, you know, if you want to go to events and want to get more out of it, you call me. If you don't want to go to the events, you call Winnona.
There you go.
Because it's really all about that connection and helping, you know, get other people's message out there, which is what marketing is all about. Sometimes it's your message, sometimes it's someone else's. So
yeah.
April, good to see you.
It's good to see you guys too. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm really excited. So my name is April Woodcock, April Heavens Woodcock, and I have a marketing agency here in Connecticut with my husband, Kevin. We've been working with small to medium-sized businesses for the past 18 years in this business. We're like serial entrepreneurs, but this is our by far most favorite business, in part because we get to help other business owners and their success, right? So we love digital marketing. I love to help businesses and business owners learn how to use the tools that they need to be successful. That's really kind of, I always kind of practice what I preach in this sense, where I feel like it's really important for business owners to have an understanding of the tools that they need before they hire somebody. And I absolutely, businesses as they need to grow definitely need to add vendors and employees to their realm, but they really do need to have an understanding of how to use some of these tools. And I have the opportunity not only to serve and train many small businesses on social media, email marketing, marketing automation. That's kind of our premise. Our background is marketing automation and email. But I also get to work with cool people like Steve Dotto and his community and do trainings for them as well as some other social media influencers in the field, which has been a great opportunity for me to learn. So I'm always learning, and I love to share that with everybody. So sharing is caring is my motto. So that's a little bit about what I do.
And it's great. So you have your own community and business, but because of what you do, and we know each other through Steve Dotto, also kind of sort of through our friend Vivica Von Rosen. So in that social media realm, it's everybody knows things. But I always say the secret to social media is there is no secret. You just have to keep trying and figuring out what works.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I think one of the things that I love so much about marketing, and you were talking about networking and kind of how you and Winnona met, and Jennifer, and we were talking about social media marketing world, is that I feel like, so I'm going to be a little bit biased here, but I feel like marketers are just so friendly. Like we're always eager to like share and meet people and, learn about what other people are doing to help other people be better at what they're doing. So I am very passionate about helping others, and I love what I do. I get so excited, and I'm very excited about analytics too, how you get to see the analytics and how actually what you do puts it into play and it's actually working, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's true. And when you love what you do, it shows. When you don't love what you do, it really shows. So why not do the things that you love and share the knowledge, share the wealth, so everybody does better, is better, gets their message out there. And
sure.
another one of my big little pedestal-y things is, oh goodness, where did I go? I really had a point. Foundation. So DEB method, D stands for determine your mission, because you can't get what you want unless you know what that is. And when you know who you're all about, everything stems from that. So it starts with what you have to offer the world. Then you take that message, spread it around, and use the tools and the networks. And it sounds so easy, but marketing, I feel like I just described marketing in like 30 seconds. Marketing is, well, what is marketing? I know my answer. Let's hear from you all. April, how do you define marketing?
Well, I feel like it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So I feel like in some levels that, how would I describe marketing? I guess I would describe it as, oh gosh.
You had to know I was going to ask this question.
like you had to put me on the spot first. No, I think I would define marketing more as, I think marketing from traditional to now has really changed. So marketing is about being human, right? And sharing your story and, sharing your skills with others. So like, Jennifer is working for somebody that's a motivational speaker. Like she is her brand, right? Which is awesome. But I feel like marketing is a place for you to really share who you are, share your expertise with others. But I also think that when you're marketing, one of the biggest challenges that I find in working with businesses is really getting them to see their niche, right? And like kind of focusing on not the masses that I can help everybody, but kind of dialing into who I can actually help. So I think marketing is really about humanizing who you are and telling your story at the end of the day, because people do business with who they know, like, and trust. And I know that's a commonality and something everyone says, but I think that's truth. I think that's really, in working with a community with Dotto Tech, one of the biggest things that I find is when business owners are willing to open up themselves and share a little bit about, they don't have to share everything. You don't have to share your whole inside. But when they're willing to go a little bit outside of their comfort zone, they have so much more success. And so that's kind of my thought on that.
Well, and you dove into a question that I will get to, which is, what is the biggest challenge marketers face? So we're going to put a pin in that, because it's true. The niche, what did they say? The niches and the riches. It's not about what you know, it's who you serve. So I'm really glad you brought that up. But back to the question at hand, Winnona, how do you define marketing?
It's a dance. It's a dance between you and your prospect and your happy clients that you have. Your partners are going to come in and out. You're not going to be with the same people from the inception of your business to the time that you sell it and retire. It's up to you to find out, who do you like to dance with the best? Who makes you happy when you're out there on that floor, and what other partners do you want to have who are like that? So I tell my clients that it's not about being one option of many to serve everyone. It's being the only option for a few people, and then a few more people, and then a few more people. And the coverage that you get when you do that is so much better, because those folks are just thrilled because you filled whatever void they were missing in their lives, be it insurance or bookkeeping or, the best dry cleaning. It's you served them because they had a specific need, and you need to be specific as well. That's the best thing I could say. It's a dance. You're just dancing.
Dancing. One of my favorite things. Also, I happen to know one of Jen's favorite things.
Oh, yes.
Who also happens to be a UJAM dance instructor. So, yeah. Jen, agree, disagree, and what to you is marketing?
I'm hearing a common theme here, and it plays right into what I was going to say, which is marketing to me is making the connection. So, as everyone said, finding the right person, for the need that they have and the product you have to serve them, or the service, with the right message that will speak to them when they need it, by the right means, being able to find the right person with the right message, and at the right time.
Okay, so the right
I
person.
used to say back, April, you alluded to, old school marketing versus newer, digital marketing. Back in the pre-digital days, I used to say, well, you have the salespeople and they do the sale, and the marketing people provide the tools for that.
Yeah. Yep.
And
exactly.
That was a nice, easy way to kind of distinguish. But now with digital, the lines are so blurred. It's everybody's doing everything. And I think marketers' real skill is to make those connections, like making sure you're finding the right audience with the right message at the right time on the right channel.
Agreed. I actually have a great slide from a presentation that kind of flips the funnel, right? So like old kind of traditional is really about prospects, right? Yeah. Kind of getting people in the door, and new age marketing, even though it's not as new age anymore, but it's really about retaining those clients and creating those brand ambassadors and making much more loyal fans to what we do. And I think that's part of our job as marketers, right? Is to make sure that we're helping businesses dot their I's and cross their T's, to make sure that they're staying in touch with with their potential clients and clients, because those are the people that are going to keep bringing in the business for them.
Right. That's my entire new job.
There you go. See?
Partnerships. They found that the existing marketing department, prior to my joining them, the partnerships were getting neglected and weren't being nurtured enough. And so those people who went way back with our, CEO, were feeling neglected. And, my boss said, we're leaving money on the table. So they hired me specifically. They created this position to nurture relationships and make sure that we maintained them and grew them. So, yeah.
Well, they certainly picked the right person for that.
I hope so.
And I guess if you think about it too, so like when I talk with a business, one of the things that I typically start with is more of what they're doing now, like their systems, kind of what systems are you using? What are you using? Because then I feel like it's kind of from the inside out when you're building a marketing strategy. And that's how I start, because I think that's how I look at the data. I look at those things before then I can say, okay, well, let's make a strategy on your list building from here. So we know that you have these things in place. So because I feel like if you don't know, well, for me and what I do, I feel like if I don't know what's going on behind the door, it's hard for me to help get people in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Winnona, you want to chime in?
I do know for a fact that marketing is not one size fits all. The one thing that I would caution folks on is that your marketing has to cover multiple areas. So you need to have a digital presence. You need to have a beautiful website that is user-friendly. I won't even work with clients and go represent them at trade shows unless their site is beautiful, because I'm putting my reputation on the line with their stuff. So in addition to digital, you also need to have a networking component where either you or someone else that works for you is going out and going to the grand openings for businesses or things that are the Chamber of Commerce or maybe BNI, LITIP, something like that, where it's, person to person. There also needs to be a portion that is print. What? Gasp. Oh my gosh, we're cutting down trees. However, you need to have, maybe it's a business card. I have a digital business card, but besides that, something that people need to touch. And then in addition to that, it's where are you in the community? How are you volunteering? So like if you've got all four of those, and like April was talking about telling your story, what sets you apart from everybody else, it's going to happen. It might take time because maybe your particular business is one of those niches that is so obscure that you only can help 3 people a year, but those people are really, really helped. Be patient. Yeah.
Oh, I think the answer to what is the biggest challenge marketers have, I think patience is actually the answer to that. Thoughts? Or do you have, I know April was talking before about finding the niche is a challenge, but I guess I will let you all answer my questions instead of me answering them. Jen, what do you think is the biggest challenge people have with marketing?
The biggest challenge. Yeah, I would say I would agree with everything that you've said, narrowing it down and not trying to just be everything to everyone, because then you won't be anything to anyone. That came from The Incredibles, actually.
One of my favorite movies.
That's right. Yeah, you have to know who you are and what your offer is, and then find the people who want that. I think it was Winnona who was talking about, you know, you just need a few. You just need the right people. So you don't want to be too broad, because then you won't mean anything to those people who want the specific thing. You need to be that specific thing and find the people who are looking for that specific thing that you have. So that's the biggest challenge is, and I guess that's exactly what April said. It's finding your niche.
April, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things, that I do also think when you're finding your niche is that it can be fluid, right? Things change over time. And I think that's one of the biggest things with, like if you're thinking of your marketing strategy, you also need to be flexible, because I've talked with business owners that are like, no, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. But for whatever reason, it's just, you can set up a strategy, but you look at kind of the SEO, you look at a whole bunch of parameters and you're like, this is too narrow, or I get this, but, and I can even use our own business as an example, is that, in the beginning, when I first started, I was like, I can help everybody. I was totally that person. I'm like, I can help every business. I can't help every business. And for whatever reason, over time, so kind of on my husband's side of our business, we have gravitated towards much more in the healthcare field. So like chiropractors, and nothing that we would ever have said that was the case when we first started. Like, I don't, so I think as you kind of dial into your niche, you have to kind of, I think that it's great to narrow it, but I also think that businesses need to understand that it needs to be a little bit flexible, and things change. So like 17 years ago to, now in 2023, my target audience and my niche is definitely a little bit different. Plus I'm older. I'm a lot more, refined in my thoughts and perspective. I've learned a lot. So I'm more like, now I know more of what I like to do, so I'm like, I want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'd rather give this to somebody that likes doing that. But so dialing in on your niche, I think is super important. I actually like to start with, when I talk to people that aren't sure, I like to kind of just do a simple brain dump of just like their thoughts. Well, what do you want to do? Like, let's talk about what you want to do. How do you want to help people? Like, who do you think you serve? And then we kind of help them dial it in from there. The other thing too, is that I think when people try to niche down, it isn't very important. I think sometimes business owners don't look at the perspective of what people are looking for their service. They're looking at it from what their perspective is, right? So like, I'm like, somebody's going to search how to build a Facebook page. But if I asked like a new business owner, they might say, no, I want to put getting started with a Facebook. So their perspective is different. So I try to really, like, when you're working on niches, look at kind of the whole piece of helping narrow it down. But niching is absolutely, it helps in so many ways of targeting people, from your website content to your blogging to your social media posts. But I think sometimes either businesses are fearful of it, niching down too much, or they're too dialed in.
Yeah, I could see how that would, either extreme would be really, really a big challenge. And I tell people, you don't just want your mission statement, you want that motto, you want that tagline. And that when you have that can be your guiding light. So everything that you do is in alignment. It also helps you move forward. So, and I had someone the other day, someone said, I do like 5 things. And people keep telling me to pick one. And I said, well, if you're really into all of the 5 things, you don't need one niche. You just need a bigger umbrella under which you can put the different things that you're very passionate about. So in some cases, the chicken soup, there are kitchen sink. That's it. Always about food with me. The chicken sink theory, if it makes sense, especially for personal brands, I think that makes sense. But also, when we're looking at the bigger picture, what is it you do and who do you help?
Mm-hmm.
That's the starting point. Winnona, any other thoughts on the challenges and how to fix them?
Oh, see, you're asking like the biggest loaded question of what are the challenges and how can you just fix them? There's no magic wand. Okay, sure, the biggest thing is time, because all of marketing, all of it, 100% is testing. What works today may not work tomorrow or next month or next year. And as April was talking about, your target and your services may change to adapt to the targets that you like working with. So the marketing that you were doing for the folks who are, super type A personality and have all of their ducks in a row and their schedule is made 3 weeks in advance, that's going to be different if now your target is the people who are much more fluid and they kind of go where the wind blows them because that's how they know they can get the best experiences. So it's all different. It's not like but it is time, 100% time, because you have to look at where is the efficacy of the money that you're spending in these different areas. I've always told my clients that if you want prospects right now, then you need to do ads, paid ads, Google, Facebook, wherever. But if you're looking for clients in the long term, then it's all about SEO and the relationships that you create with people person to person. But if you want to stay in business, you got to do everything. You can't just, I only want prospects right now, because it takes time for the algorithm to figure out, well, what prospects do you really want? Because I'm going to give you, 500 of them, and then you have to contact everyone and tell them that's not exactly what we do. So it's all time. Yeah.
It goes back to what we were saying before. What is the marketer's biggest challenge? Is probably patience, because you have to wait. You don't know, right?
Well, and I think you bring up a great point, because one of the things that as I've become seasoned over the years, I feel like one of the things too is that when we're working with clients is that we set an expectation that it's not, you're not going to get miracles in 30 days, that it's, and we don't typically, when we retain a client, we don't typically retain them for under 6 months if it's something where it's like a management of some of their digital marketing, just because even from an analytics and data point of view, it's very hard to, help look at metrics and then make suggestions to make it better, right? So especially if they're starting from square one, or they haven't sent an email in eons or whatever it is. And then social media, obviously, as all of us know, that is definitely a slow turtle race to, you're competing with so many other people. You have to, it's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. It takes a little bit of work to get what you want from it in terms of that ROI, return on investment. So,
and the fact that it's constantly changing.
Yes.
I mean, the platforms change all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
My last prior job, that's what we did. We trained people on social media, and it was constantly changing. So we were constantly had things new to teach people. So.
And I think even now too, the platform, what did I see? Someone posted today, oh no, not another social media platform. I didn't even look at it because it was a rabbit hole that I don't need, right?
It's like a shiny penny, right? You're like, oh, let's jump over here. Let's jump over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's the whole shiny object syndrome. It is a thing. And, I play favorites. This is live streamed to YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook. So if you're watching this live, thank you. Thank you. If you're watching the replay, also thank you. And those are my main things. Yes, I can't even remember the last time I was on Clubhouse. I'm not doing Twitter anymore because there's too much toxicity. You just, and I do a little Instagram, but you need to play favorites because especially for small businesses, you can't be all things to all people. You need to find where your clients are, but also where do you thrive? What content do you want to create to get out there? So let's play favorites. What is your favorite content to create, and where do you reside most of the time?
That's a tough one. So
I know they're all tough questions, but marketing, not the case.
So my favorite place is Facebook communities, to be honest. So I feel like, so I like Facebook, I like Instagram. I'm definitely an Instagram stalker. Like I love stories and I love all that. I don't post as much on it, but I am definitely a lurker. So if you know me and you're watching, I'm lurking and I'm watching you. But I really love Facebook communities, probably the best. And I know that's not necessarily, so I like it because it personalizes the connections. And I feel like people, especially since COVID, people get involved in communities and share a lot more than they would share on a social post. Now, obviously that takes work because you have to get people there and all of that. So but that would be my most favorite thing that I use on social media. I do like LinkedIn a lot. I don't use it as much as I would like to. But I know that LinkedIn, with a little bit of magic fairy posting of just some common interests, you can have great conversations there that are like we're having tonight, like you can have really great conversations. So that's what I love about LinkedIn. And so those are my kind of two things. And I'm a lurker on TikTok, but now I'm not. I actually have deleted the app because of all the stuff going on there. So
I agree and I deleted my TikTok as well for that reason. There are too many, I think, safer options.
Yes.
To be putting stakes in places where you're uncomfortable. That's my little soapboxy thing. My Facebook community, which is Right On Online, it's got a different post every day for goal setting, productivity, and community for that aspect, because you never know who you're going to meet and what connections are going to be made within threads. And absolutely regarding LinkedIn, because you're building a business. You don't have even some sort of LinkedIn presence, you're completely missing out.
Agreed.
Yeah, I use LinkedIn as a tool for my business, because when I ask my clients to look at the list of vendors that are going to be at this upcoming conference or expo, and I have them narrow down to the 5 people that the 5 businesses they absolutely want me to talk with, I use LinkedIn to then go research that company and see who's working there, who do I think is going to be there, and then go to that person's feed and then see what did they post about recently. Were they all upset about the Super Bowl, or is their kid, getting into USC, or were they really bummed about? They put some quote about the Lorax, and I put that into a spreadsheet so that when I go and I talk to these folks. I almost have a script of what I'm going to weave into my conversation so that I can have this sense of, I already know you. I'm comfortable talking to you. So when you give me a suggestion of, have you ever thought about having a video that's kind of like an explainer video behind you in your booth? Oh, no, you haven't? Well, let me connect you with a dear friend of mine. You don't know it, but my dear friend is also paying me to be here, but that's beside the point. Yes. So I use LinkedIn. That puts me at like superhero status, instead of just I'm blindly walking around the floor, going from booth to booth, picking up the tchotchkes and filling my bag. No, I'm there with a purpose. And so I use it as a tool, but I don't post on there. I'm more of a lurker, like April is, truth be told.
What about you?
I thought I saw a cape there, Winnona. Your superhero status. I thought I noticed a cape there behind there.
Yeah.
So Jennifer, when you play
Um,
favorites,
I still like Facebook. I like Facebook because it's where I have been the longest and have built the most people. I don't use it a lot for business. I don't have my own business. So, but I like it because it's got so many different things. It's got the sense of community. And I would agree also that TikTok is a lot of fun. I was doing that for a long time because I like the dancing and the music. But yeah, no, we can't anymore. But yeah, I still put a lot of stuff on Facebook, both for my dance instruction, personal stuff, some business stuff, and yeah, it's got the groups, it's got the community, everything.
I think one of the hardest things for me as a marketer, and I don't know how about you ladies, but I'm very busy working in my business. So I'm definitely the cobbler in the cobbler's house. I don't always keep up to date on my things as well as I should. There's times where I'm really on it and I have like great posts and I've really thought out this, but I'm so busy working with clients that I tend to, I'm terrible. So like, don't go to my Facebook page today. Like, don't go to my LinkedIn profile today. And the ironic part, I don't know about you guys, but family and friends are always like, well, you're always on Facebook or you're always on here. I'm like, I am, but I'm working. Like it's not,
right.
Like, so when I say I'm lurking, that's usually those stories and if it's embarrassing. Well, I don't think it's embarrassing, but my kids are embarrassed because it's all about dogs. My kids are like, why are you looking? You look at sad things. You look at all these things. I'll be like, isn't this sad? Isn't this cute? Like, they're like, this is what you do with your free time. I was like, it brings me joy.
So other people's, whether it's intentional marketing or not, but things that they're putting out into the world are reaching you, you're connecting with it and you're engaging. So that's really a good example from the other end. You want your content to have the April response.
Sure. Send me anything dog related and I'm on it. And if you have German short hair pointer, Australian Shepherd, or a pit rescue, I'm your gal.
Nice.
So what is that first step? I mean, we've talked about a lot of things, and if you're listening, you're like, and your head is exploding, I'm so sorry. So let's just dial it back a little bit. What is something, and we'll do goals in a moment, but what's the starting point if someone needs a marketing refresh? What can they do to really find that focus and create content that gets responses that you want, makes those connections?
Debra, I tell my clients that they need to reach out to their favorite customers, their favorite clients that they have right now, and ask, hey, what's going on in your life? How have things changed since you and I have worked together? And then could you think back in time, what are the things that you were thinking about that led you to come work with me? I'm doing this. I'd really appreciate your help on this because I can't get into your head unless you share. And then use those words that you just got from that person. And those are your keywords. Those are the things that you're putting on your website, on your social media posts, on the Google ads that you have. Because you're speaking the language of the people. Wow, that sounds so cool. Speaking the language of the people.
I know. It's so diplomatic. Love it.
The company I used to work for did an annual survey every January. They'd reach out, they'd send it to their whole mailing list. Hey, we're taking a picture of our industry and our business for the year. And they had, a Survey Monkey link, and would compile the results and then produce a report on what marketers are doing or planning to do. We had questions on what do you use, what works, what's effective, what isn't working so well, what are you planning to use more of or less of in the next year. And so it's the same thing. It's not calling them, but it was sending out a survey and then compiling the results. And then we use that as content, as our lead magnet for the year was the results. the report that we put together with the results. So
Love it.
yeah, surveying the customers is definitely a key thing to getting started or to renewing your marketing.
I think
I
from
like that. I like it also from the aspect of it's another way to position yourself as an expert in the marketplace. So,
Yes.
and I use in your goal guide, I sent out a goal survey so I could include examples and really know that I was speaking to the people who needed me. So to find out how they felt about goals and what goals were important to them. So it's not just a way of creating that marketing content, but it's another way to uplift yourself as that expert.
Exactly.
April, do you have 2 cents or a nickel to put into this first step?
I always have 2 cents. So you want 10, 20?
Let's start with 4.
Okay. Well, so I think, so I love definitely surveying current clients. I think from a kind of a tool perspective, I'll talk kind of if you're looking to start with a tool, I think the first thing that businesses should always take a look at is their website first, because we talk about social media, we talk about all these things, but it's rented real estate at the end of the day, right? So even though I love, like I said, Facebook groups ultimately could go away, right? They're always changing all of that. But I think it's always your website, even though you pay a GoDaddy or a HostGator, but the website is yours. Like you can create your WordPress website. Obviously, if you're using a pay service, you're paying, and once you stop paying, it goes away. But that website really is the hub of your business. That's where you're going to drive traffic to. If you're going to write blog posts, content, even your content that you're posting on social media a good amount of it should drive back to your website, content that you're creating there, because that's your hub. The other thing that I think is really a good thing to take a look at is your competitors. I always encourage businesses to look at competitors in the marketplace, because that also kind of puts kind of some aha of maybe where you could start, right? Because if you know that X, Y, and Z is doing this, maybe you know that you're better skilled at doing this, and this is where you want to focus your energy on. So I think, and honestly, I think competitive analysis should be done regularly for businesses. We do it. We look at our competitors. We look at what they're doing. And if you're a little bit competitive, like I can be, you're always like, oh, I can do this better. And then it triggers ideas on to have to be more effective. But I think sometimes it also, especially if you're a new business just getting started and you don't know where to start, it's always helpful to look at kind of what other people are doing. So that's my 4 plus times 10 cents.
Amazing. And I just have to reiterate, my first starting point from everything is, what is your mission? What are you all about? What is your business about? But even more importantly, how do you help? So it's not, when your business is about helping other people and finding the way to highlight what drives you and what makes you unique. And then you shrink it down into a fun little motto. So mine is goal setting simplified. So everything that I create is with that theory in mind, that changing your life is challenging enough. The instructions need to be easy. So I made them really easy. So whatever it is you're building, know thyself first.
Yeah. Definitely the starting point.
So where do people go from here? We've talked about first steps. Now let's talk about like jazzing up the marketing. What is something fun, interesting, and unique that people can do to breathe new life into their marketing? April?
So, I think there's some simple things so if you already have some, if you have your blog already established, if you have your social media already established, that fun-loving free tool, Canva, can really add some great visual life to any of your marketing, right? I feel like they have the free and they have the pro, but Canva has become such a go-to for me, but I also for clients that I serve and businesses that I work with, because I think, first of all, I want to definitely clarify graphic designers are still needed for those logos and certain elements. But I know that from like a do-it-yourselfer on a small budget, it's a great way to put some great visuals together with these templates to put some polish on your business and take it up a next level. So I think that's a great place to kind of do a refresh. Take a look at your cover photos. You should be updating those regularly anyways. I guarantee that out of 10 people, 10 businesses, only maybe 2 update it regularly. They forget about it, right? It's kind of that it's sitting there. So that's a great way to just polish it. Your LinkedIn profile, take a look at that and add some new images. Go get a new headshot. That's always a good thing. I don't know. Mine, I had dark hair. Now I'm semi-blonde, which every time I look at it, I was like, I need a new headshot. I need some fresh polish.
I love all of those. And thank you for the reminder, because my new podcast, his was with Deb, starts Wednesday. So I have to add it to my header. So I appreciate the reminder. And I do love Canva. So all the graphics that I use, whether they're the thumbnails that I use for this and also the photos, they all come from Canva, because especially, and believe me, I'm no expert on visuals, but once you have which photo you use for the blog post and which one you use to introduce your live stream this week, once you have them, then you just start updating them.
Yeah.
So think about that theme. And I like I said before, I am not a graphics person, so thank goodness for Canva. Underlying.
Yeah. And they have a really good help menu too. So don't ever be afraid if you're just getting, I use the example of my partner, my husband, who is so graphically inept. He can even create some good graphics for a blog post. So yeah, it's not his way of thinking. He's very good at what he does, but that creative kind of, the visual. So Canva is a great tool for anyone, I feel like.
And so we've got Pam Barraway, who's watching live, and her team uses Canva to publish a monthly newsletter. And then the other point before we move forward that she brought up, remember Google Plus. It's a complete lesson in why you should never put all your hopes and dreams on a social network that can go away.
Well, Blab, remember Blab? Here we are.
Blab.
It's kind of like Blab was great. It's so sad. That's like one of the saddest demises of a platform, though. Blab was really great.
Everybody loved Blab. Yeah. And it just poof, it was gone. And Meerkat.
I was going to say Meerkat. And so my second book, Write on Blogging, 51 Tips to Create, Write, and Promote Your Blog, I think Blab and Meerkat both went away like 1 or 2 days before my book. And I self-published, so it was fine, but I'm like making corrections.
Periscope, wasn't that
Periscope.
one? Yep.
That was the Twitter one.
Yeah, Meerkat and Periscope.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Thank you, Pam. A really good example of why it's good to have all of your content hosted someplace
your website,
that you want.
Yeah, right.
So Winnona, what is your jazz up marketing tip?
So there's this African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So you really need to look at who are your experts, your gurus that are marketing for you. Does that mean that you've got good power partners that are in your same industry but don't compete with you? If so, go buy them a coffee or do something that shows that you appreciate and you love them, because you're not spending enough time with them. You need to find out, who are they chatting with this week? How can you help them together, and vice versa? Also, look at, I know this sounds corny, but look at some of the mailers that are coming in your mailbox and open it up. Normally mine goes to the recycle bin, but open it up and see which of those ads are really just popping out at you, and then why. And would you be willing to go and check out that person's website? Because again, April, you're so right. This is where people follow the breadcrumbs to figure out, are you legitimate? What's real? How old is your site? Does it look like what do you call that? A scrapbook? Does it have that type of like old from the 1990s, or is it more recent? And
How
then
about data errors written across it? I just encountered that one today. Like you need to update your Adobe Flash. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, that wasn't on my
this,
site. Mine's almost that bad, but no, it's not that bad.
or does it say, this site is under construction? No, it's not. It's not. You don't say that. You don't have a placeholder. Like, do something. But yeah, figure out, what are your people seeing, your prospects, when they research you? Have a trusted friend go to your site. Is your, like April, you're talking about, is your LinkedIn page up to date? Is the link that you have on there the correct one, or does it go to nothing? I can't tell you how many times I have clicked on somebody's name and then it just says, sorry, there's nothing here. And I'm like, how is that possible?
Error 404.
Yeah.
Oh, can I tell you my pet peeve? When people don't update the copyright on their website.
Oh.
And it says copyright 2015. That's never okay.
Put it on the to-do list in January.
Yes, every January you have to, and that's great, annually or quarterly, do an audit of your website and your social presence to make sure it's up to date. So Jen, what is your best tip for jazzing up your marketing? You're going to say go dancing.
I have to think of something unique that my friends here haven't said already. So I would say get your customers involved in your marketing. So collect testimonials, collect photos when you have events, do video, grab clips of videos with your customers, but do case studies, interview them and make case studies. So, and so you can always show new applications and real world examples and happy customers on all different angles of your business. Constantly be looking for the stories that your customers are telling about you and encourage them to tell the stories about you and publish those. So I like seeing testimonials.
Yeah,
I think they're really effective.
They definitely are. And I think people, people do. I look at reviews. I won't buy. I mean, unless I really have been conned into the marketing scheme of what they gave us, I pay attention to reviews. Yeah, without a doubt. I think many people do.
Yeah.
It's such great tips for starting and then getting into and then putting up the fun, zesty, spicy marketing that gets people excited about you. And I love that you all took that from a little different aspects. So let's give people some goals. So I would love for you all to gift a goal. So if someone listening to this or watching this does one thing from the conversation, what can they do that's going to really help their marketing, help spread the message of who they are, what they do, and how they help? Jen, you want to gift a goal first?
Okay. Think quick. Yes. Talk to your customers, whether it's a survey, whether it's calling them, whether it's an email, whether it's just reaching out. That's what I have been doing with my new job, is reaching out to the people on the list who I've never met, but are friends of this company for years and years and years. Get to know your customers. So who can you talk to, and in what order? Pick how set a time each day or each week that you want to talk to some customers. Make a list, prioritize the list. Who do you want to talk to first, and set a schedule to talk to some customers every week.
I love it. Prioritizing this, making it a goal.
Yeah.
Winnona?
Get out and network. Either that's in person or that's online. Maybe you're on meetup.com and there's something that's hosted there. Look for people who do what you do, who are your competitors, but then also look for the folks who would be in alliance with you and make that connection. Maybe you're just making one a week or one a month, but then turn that into a potential relationship instead of just, hey, thanks, it was so nice talking with you, and here's my stuff. Don't do that. No. You want it to be a long-term investment instead of, like you were talking about, that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So go and talk to people. You cannot be an island unto yourself and succeed in your business. You need to have community.
Absolutely. Because you can't reach your goals on your own. And I love it. I love setting networking goals. When you go to events, you can meet as many people as you want, but keep in mind, make a list of like the top 5 that you want to go into deeper conversation with and develop those relationships, because that's where you succeed, when you have people advocating for you and vice versa. So love it. Thanks, Winnona. April, what goal do you want to gift?
So I would say go to your website and pick one page that you're going to update in the next 2 weeks, that you're going to update that content. You know that there's a page that's been at the back of your head, whether it be your about section, whether it be a service, and set a date on the calendar that you're going to have it updated by, and update that content. And that will, Google loves fresh content. And also that'll put that kind of like little feeling like, oh God, I haven't updated in a while, to rest. And then I would continue down that road. If you haven't updated content on your website in a long time, go and pick a page, or go into your media library and pick some images and name them for SEO, so just look at little fragments of your website. If you have 10 minutes in a day, just go update something.
Easy peasy. And when you put it that way, again, goal setting simplified, when you put it that way, it's like, oh, I could do that. So, and I'm going to see your goal and raise it. Why can't you just update a page on your website each month?
Right. Well, and if you start looking at it, like, and that's why I do put stuff on my calendar for myself, because it's my business. Even though if I'm serving clients or whatever, you wouldn't miss an appointment with your A client. Don't miss an appointment for your business, because obviously, I think many businesses were very blessed in referrals and all of that. But sometimes when that referral engine stops for whatever reason, it could be the economy or whatever, you want to make sure that you do have a good footprint to your business, and that you're not just depending on everyone else to get the word out there. So
yes,
that would be my
absolutely. Right. Because you never stop working on your business. Treat yourself, and you tripped over one of my favorite things, that when I advise for goal setting, you would not miss an appointment with a client. Why do you prioritize other people over yourself? No, you need to choose yourself, your goals, and your business, and find ways to prioritize your business development. And a huge part of that is marketing. So yes, agree. Wonderful conversation. Before we wrap, friends, where can people find you, learn more about you? Jen?
Well, my new company website is www.motivatingthemasses.com. So come and check out everything that we're doing. And if you would like to become an affiliate, partners.motivatingthemasses.com.
Great. Thank you, Jen. And Winnona, where can people learn more about you?
So you can scan this QR code and get to my virtual business card, but you can also go to uk2usamarketing.com, and you can even click on the thing that says book a chat. You and I can have a conversation, and we can discuss where your marketing can go from here. I like to talk to people. I talk to a lot of people every week, so I gotcha.
Talking is your friend, and I see Jennifer has already scanned your QR code, and so you can see that on the video. And so if you're listening if you're listening to this as the podcast, you can go to thedebmethod.com/blog for notes and links as well, and to see that beautiful QR code, which is on Winnona's background. April, where can people learn more about you?
You can drop by my website, Touching Clients, at touchingclients.com. As I said, I can be a little bit of the cobbler in the cobbler's house. The services are up to date. My blog, it needs a little bit of work. Or you're welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn at April Woodcock. So I'd love to connect with you, and let's be friends and collaborate.
Excellent. And as I just said, you can go to thedebmethod.com/blog to get the recaps from this and the other episodes, and learn more about me and your goals. You can grab your copy of your goal guide. And every Monday at 4 p.m., you can join the conversation live on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and just drop in and chat, because we love when people come in and connect, communicate. It's another way. It's another form of networking, right? Mm-hmm. And networking is part of marketing, and marketing is what makes the world go round. And remember, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Before we wrap, final thought, April?
So I think you just said it. I think, one of the things is marketing doesn't happen overnight. Some of us always pray that, I don't know about you, but I own lots of domains and I have lots of great ideas, and I'm hoping that one idea is going to go viral and be this mega hit, and it's going to, my bank account's going to explode. But the reality is, as business owners, we know better, right? It takes a little bit of time. So, reach out, network, ask questions. There's so many available trainings online. There's live shows like this where you can meet with people that are, a Twitter expert or a website expert. There's so many things to learn. And be kind to yourself. It takes time. That would be my best advice, that it does take time. But you got this.
You do. You've done a step. You've taken a step. You're tuning in. Absolutely. I love that. And so, Jen, final thought?
I think it's all about know who you are and what you're all about, and know who your customer is, and be focused, laser focused.
Fantastic. And Winnona?
So along those same lines, sometimes I believe that as business owners, we need to take a break from the everyday ins and outs of what's going on, and kind of zen out for a little bit, and then figure out what's really, really, really important to me. Is it spending more time with my family? If so, I should probably hire somebody else to do something that I don't like that's been in my business. So take those moments where you can breathe, meditate, go for a walk, swim, do something that is not your norm behind your computer, attached to your cell phone, where you are just able to think. And you were talking about know thyself, but absolutely, that's what you need. It's take a moment. We don't do that in our fast-paced lives enough. So, yeah.
We don't. And it really is, when it comes to it, it is all about the balance, which is why, next week we're talking about boundaries. So it's business skills, but skills alone are never going to get you where you need to go. You need to take the time, you need to defrag, you need to dance, you need to enjoy. You need to be your whole best you, because when you are marketing, that is what you are showing to the world. Thank you again so much, Jennifer, Winnona, and April, for joining me today. And thank you, whether you're watching or listening. Thank you for tuning in, choosing yourself and your goals. Going out there, go for it, because we know you can do it. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.